Hello everyone, this is Kat, and I'm here to find out if I can beat Pokemon Sapphire with only a Zigzagoon. Let's get started. The rules going into this challenge were simple, but there was one rule that we needed to bend. The plan was to use only Zigzagoon, not allow it to evolve, not to use any items in battle, and to use another Zigzagoon as an HM slave. We ended up needing to pick up a few more HM slaves along the way because I forgot to turn on full HM compatibility, but we didn't use any of them in battle. We'll start by collecting our Zigzagoon from Birch's satchel, winning our first battle, and naming our Zigzagoon Tank after my dog. We get to level 10 before taking on Brendan for the first time, and we win without any issues. Back at the lab, it becomes obvious that Brendan is a hater, who is not recognizing our vision here, but nevertheless, he gives us a few Pokeballs, we collect our running shoes from Mom, and we catch our HM slave. Let's name her Kyrie, after my husband's dog. Jumping ahead, our first gym challenge is against Roxanne, the Rock-type gym leader. This proves to be a huge problem for us due to our type disadvantage, and we lose to her 3 times. We're not able to win against her until we grind all the way up to level 35. But we are finally successful and can collect our stone badge. With that finished and 1 badge in hand, we're free to visit Brawley in pursuit of the Knuckle badge. We defeat a Team Aqua Grunt and rescue Pico, and Pico's dad gives us a lift to Dewford as a thank you.
I love you, Pico, you're so cute.
Before we face Brawley, we grab the Everstone from the cave to the north of the city and equip it on Zigzagoon. Then we're off to the gym, where whoever this guy is talks some shit, and then it's time to get the Knuckle badge. Even with our type disadvantage, we're pretty over-leveled going into this fight, so we're able to take Brawley down on our first try with very little trouble. And that's 2 badges in the bag. We have another brief encounter with Team Aqua, which isn't an issue, and then we have our second rival battle with Brendan. Brendan goes down without much of a fight, and it's time for us to pursue badge number 3, but not before a quick battle with Wally. Wally has come pretty far, but unfortunately for him, it is not far enough. He's only got 1 Pokemon, and we knock it out in 1 move, so sorry Wally. Mauville has an electric-type gym, and the gym leader that we'll have to defeat to earn our Dynamo badge is this funny-looking old man named Watson, which is a cute pun. We don't have a very good moveset for Watson, which makes me a little nervous going into this fight, especially because if we get paralyzed, we'll have to use rest to cure it, and that puts us to sleep for 2 turns. But we're able to make it work, and we walk away with our 4th badge and the ability to use Rock Smash outside of battle. Since Zigzagoon can learn Rock Smash, I'll teach over Pin Missile for it to give us a little bit of variety in our moveset. Team Aqua is back on their bullshit, so we have to fight Archie on Mount Pyre, and he ends up being quite a formidable opponent. We actually lose our first fight to him in spite of being twice the level of his Pokemon, so we need to come back and try again. I would like to point out that he is not following the no items in battle rule, but I guess that is why he's the villain. We're successful on our second try, and rest is really coming in handy. Not being able to heal obviously makes things much harder, but I guess it wouldn't be a challenge video if it was easy. The meteorite that we can now collect from here will definitely be useful to us later, because we can trade it to a scientist for the return TM. The hunt for badge number 4 brings us to Lava Ridge Town, and we face off against Flannery, who's a Fire-type gym leader. Not only are we twice the level of her Pokemon, but our type matchup is neutral, so it's no problem for us to take down her 2 Slugma. We get really lucky and land a flinch on Torkoal, and we also survive one of his attacks with just 1 HP, giving us a chance to rest and ultimately come out the winner of this fight. That's the last badge that we need to challenge our dad in Petalburg, which is our next destination. Historically, I've always found this to be a particularly difficult badge to earn because those Slakings do be thick. But luckily, that's offset by them loafing around every other move. Vigoroth is also a pretty scary opponent who can do a lot of damage really fast, which is a problem for us since healing with Recover costs us 3 moves. But we actually beat Norman on our first try, which is a huge surprise to me, and brings us to 5 total badges. We take out Team Aqua in the Weather Institute so fast that I almost missed it. And we're given a cast form for our efforts. Unfortunately for the cast form, He will be rotting in the PC until the end of his days. Sorry, little guy. And then it's time for another rival battle with Brendan. Brendan's party consists of a Whalmer, who falls to our incredible Headbutt, a Combuskin, who stands no chance against Surf, a Shroomish, who is actually a huge pain in the ass, but Headbutt does the trick. Brendan gives us Fly, which we will not be using. The gym leader in Fortree City is Winona, and she uses flying type Pokemon. Her party includes a Swellow, a Pelipper, a Skarmory, and an Altaria. Swellow doesn't give us much trouble, and neither does Pelipper, although his Protect is pretty annoying. Skarmory is a little scary, but Surf does the trick on him, and we even get a chance to use Rest before Altaria. Altaria almost takes us out, but we managed to take him out too, earning ourselves badge number 6, which is the Feather Badge. There are only 2 more badges to go, and at this point I am feeling pretty confident, which was stupid of me because the next gym almost convinced me that this challenge was impossible. Before we get to that, we visit the move deleter and delete Rock Smash because we don't need it anymore. We'll teach Rock Smash to our HM slave and replace that with Thunderbolt. Now our moveset consists of Surf, Rest, Headbutt, and Thunderbolt. I do plan on replacing Headbutt with Return, but Brendan wants to battle us again, and spoiler alert, it does not go well for us at all. He starts with a Swellow, and we take it down, no problem, with Thunderbolt. Combuskin falls to Surf again, and we take out Wilmer with Thunderbolt and Headbutt. Then he brings out his Shroomish, and of course, it's a huge problem for us and a major pain in my ass. It uses Leech Seed, and it poisons me, and the poison takes me out before I get a chance to use Recover. On our second try, Swellow goes down with a Thunderbolt, Combuskin goes down with Surf and Headbutt, Wilmer almost fades to a Thunderbolt, but manages to hang on and land a Confusion on me, causing me to hurt myself. Zigzagoon manages to rest before he faints, and then when he wakes up, hurts himself in Confusion again, and then finally takes Wilmer down with a Headbutt. Finally, we're facing Shroomish again, and we immediately snap out of Confusion and rest. When we wake up, we miss a few attacks and faint again. Maybe in our next video, it should be a Shroomish only run, since this thing is impossible to kill. Instead of trying to beat Brendan for a third time, I head over to Fall Arbor and exchange my Meteorite for a Return TM, and I teach Return over Headbutt. Then we head to Team Aqua's hideout and defeat Aqua admin Matt. Thunderbolt is really useful against Team Aqua and gives me a false sense of security, so I don't think twice about challenging the 7th gym in Moss Deep City. This gym is a double battle with Lunatone and a Solrock. I really thought that Surf would make this super easy for us, but I was absolutely wrong for that. We go in at level 65, and it's a disaster. We lost so fast, I almost got Whiplash. Then I tried to go back without Kyrie in my party, but they refused to fight me, so I got her back from the PC and challenged them a second time. For whatever reason, I didn't think it was necessary to level up at all before giving this gym a second try. I guess I was just in a silly, goofy mood or something. Once Lunatone used Hypnosis to put me to sleep, though, I was done for, and there was no chance I was going to win, and we whited out again. For our third attempt, I got all the way up to level 70, and it was not enough. We did come pretty close to at least taking out Solrock, but our Zigzagoon was burned by a flamethrower, and we ended up not getting a chance to use Rest before we took damage from that burn and whited out again. For attempt number 4, we go in at level 75, and a Hypnosis from Solrock leaves us unable to defend ourselves, and so we white out again. At this point, I realized a few things. First of all, we need to figure out a way to get around this Hypnosis problem if we want to stand a chance. My strategy is replacing Zigzagoon's Everstone with a Chesto Berry, because I may not be allowed to use items in battle, but he is. If we are not put to sleep by Hypnosis, the Chesto Berry will allow us to wake up immediately from rest, so either way, it can only help. The second thing I realize is that my victory is going to rely on good RNG. And the third thing I realize is that I'm going to have to do some more grinding. So we go into attempt number 5 at level 80. Surf is doing more damage now, which is a good start. Kyrie takes a Psychic for us, which is also a huge help. It feels like cheating, but we have no other option. Lunatone uses Hypnosis, but thanks to our Chesto Berry, we wake up immediately. Both Lunatone and Solrock get Hyper Potions from the gym leaders, and then another Hypnosis leads to our 5th defeat. For attempt number 6, we go in still at level 80 and just hope for good RNG. We get a crit on Lunatone for our first Surf, which is a great start for us, and Kyrie takes a Psychic for us again. A second Surf takes out Lunatone, and now we're in a very good position to win because Hypnosis is out of the picture. Our second Surf also brings Solrock down to 1 HP, and the gym leaders use a Hyper Potion on it. 2 more Surfs, and it's down to 1 HP again. They use a Hyper Potion again. 2 more Surfs, another Hyper Potion, and then we're finally able to take down Solrock with a return and a final Surf, earning ourselves the Mind Badge on our 6th try. We need to take care of Team Aqua before we can get our final badge, so we pick up a Tentacool that we can teach Dive to and head down to the depths of the ocean. Aqua admin Shelly goes down without any trouble at all, thanks to Thunderbolt in return. We find Kyogre down in the basement and have a little battle with Archie, whose party consists of a Mightyena, a Crobat, and a Sharpedo. Archie is not an issue for us since we're already at level 82, and now we can finally challenge the 8th gym in Sootopolis City for our Rain Badge. Wallace has 5 Pokemon, and they're all water types. First up, we've got Luvdisc, then we have Whiscash, then Celio, Seaking, and Milotic. Thunderbolt will be our best friend here for everybody except Whiscash, who is a dual water-ground type. Everything goes fine until Milotic manages to freeze us with an Ice Beam, rendering us completely incapacitated. Milotic also has Recover, which is a problem since we can't one-shot it, so we'll have to try this a second time. Our second attempt goes much better, especially because we're able to paralyze Milotic with our Thunderbolt. Wallace also wasted all of his potions before Milotic was even on the field, which gave us a huge advantage. We're able to defeat Wallace and earn our Rain Badge. This is the last badge that we need before taking on the Elite Four, but there is one thing that I want to do before we head that way. One major issue that I anticipate us having is running out of PP on our moves. I went back to the Trick House and completed all the puzzles, winning a prize of a PP Max. Using PP Max on return will bring it from 15 to 32, which will be absolutely critical for the Elite Four since Ethers are extremely hard to come by. With that done, we head towards the Elite Four and have one final battle with Wally at the end of Victory Road. Such an audacious little guy. I can't believe he made it all the way here. He's got an Altaria that we paralyze with Thunderbolt and then KO with Return. Next up is a Delcatty, and it pains me to battle such a beautiful creature, but the show must go on, so we use a Thunderbolt and a Return to take her out. Magneton is next and faints to 1 Surf. Rosalia faints to 1 Return. And then finally, we fight his ace, which is a Gardevoir. 2 returns are all we need to take Gardevoir out. I'm sorry, Wally. And then we grind all the way up to level 100, and it's time for the Elite Four. First up, we have Sydney, who uses Dark-type Pokemon. He's got a Mightyena, a Cacturne, a Shiftry, a Sharpedo, and an Absol. He isn't that hard to defeat, and we don't have to use many Surfs or Thunderbolts, which is good, because we are definitely going to need them for our next fight, so I would like to conserve as many of them as possible. We heal up, and next is Phoebe, who uses Ghost-type Pokemon, which means that Return is not going to help us here, and we have to rely on Thunderbolt and Surf, which are in extremely limited supply. Her first 3 Pokemon go down easy: Dusclops, Banette, another Banette, and a Sableye. The last Pokemon, which is a second Dusclops, confuses us and forces us to waste a few moves. In retrospect, I probably should have used Returns while I was confused, but I was hoping to land a few attacks in there before he took me out. But we snapped out of confusion and we were able to defeat Phoebe, but our PP situation is not looking good. Small PP. The third member of the Elite Four is Glacia, the Ice-type trainer. On her team, she has 2 Glalie, 2 Celios, and a Walrein. I used an Ether on Thunderbolt in preparation for this battle, and it's a good thing I did, because we definitely needed it. We did end up needing to rest a few times in this battle, which I don't love, because it does cost us 3 turns, but in the end, it was worth it, because we were able to beat her and move on to the 4th member of the Elite Four. Before we went into our 4th battle, I used an Ether on Surf. We are running pretty low on moves right now, but I want to save my max elixir for right before the champion because I only have 1. The 4th member of the Elite Four is Drake, and he uses Dragon-type Pokemon. I didn't realize that Zigzagoon could learn Blizzard, and that would have been a huge help to me in this battle because Salamence was a major problem. Before we got to Salamence, we had to get through a Shelgon, an Altaria, and 2 Flygons. The RNG was really on my side in this battle because Drake used his potions before Salamence was even on the field, which definitely saved us. Tank used Rest as soon as Salamence was out of his ball, and I had a little trick up my sleeve. Zigzagoon was holding a Chesto Berry, and thanks to the Chesto Berry, we were able to wake up from Rest immediately and hit Salamence with a few Thunderbolts. I was really hoping to land a paralysis on him here, but we ended up not needing it, and it is finally time for us to face the champion. There are 3 things that we've got to do before we head to our fight with Steven. We have to use a max potion, we have to use a max elixir, and we have to give Zigzagoon his Everstone back. And then it's time for our final fight. Steven has a full team of 6 Pokemon. First up is Skarmory. Return barely makes a dent, so we switch to Surf and then get poisoned. 1 more Surf and we rest to heal that poisoning. Steven uses a potion on Skarmory, and when we wake up, we're able to take him down in 2 more moves. Then Steven sends out Armaldo, who doesn't stand a chance against Surf. Claydol is next, and Surf is the end of him too. Aggron is next and goes down in a single Surf as well, and we're feeling pretty grateful for Surf right now. Cradily almost takes me down, and we need to rest, but luckily he doesn't do much damage while we're actually asleep. When we wake up, we go back to spamming Surf, but our HP is pretty low when Cradily finally faints. And that's a problem because Metagross is out next, and we come extremely close to fainting. Luckily, Tank is able to hang in there until we can use Rest. Metagross misses a Meteor Mash, but then lands 2, and then lands Psychic, so we need to sleep again. He hits us with a Hyper Beam, which is actually a lucky break, because he needs to spend his next turn recharging, which gives us the opening that we need. We wake up, hit him with a Thunderbolt, nearly faint to a Psychic, and then a final Thunderbolt takes him out, making us the champion. So, can we beat Pokemon Sapphire with only a Zigzagoon? Well, yes and no. While we did use only Zigzagoon for our battles throughout the game, we definitely needed a few Pokemon to help us out with HMs along the way. We also needed a second Pokemon in order to challenge the 7th gym. But in spite of those things, I am comfortable saying that yes, we can beat Pokemon Sapphire with only a Zigzagoon. Thank you guys so much for spending your time here with us today. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment below, let me know what our next challenge should be, and I will see you guys next time.